Employees Provident Fund has officially announced the appointment of Datuk Sri Amir Hamzah Azizan as its CEO effective March 1st, taking over from incumbent Tunku Ali Zakri alias. This confirms a report by the Edge CEO Morning Brief. Amir Hamzah is resigning as CEO of Tenaga Nasional effective February 28th, following his acceptance of his new appointment by the Minister of Finance Inc. In a statement today, the Statutory Retirement Fund said he brings with him more than 25 years of corporate experience, having begun his career with the Shell Group of companies before serving as CEO of MISC, Petronas Dagangan and Icon Offshore, among others. Meanwhile, Tunku Ali Zakri will be continuing his contributions towards public service in a different capacity. Over at TNB, Dato Baharin Din has been appointed as President and CEO effective March 1st until February 29th, 2024. According to TNB, Baharin has been the company's Chief Distribution Network Officer since 2018. Prior to joining TNB in 2011, Baharin was Sabah Electricity Managing Director between 2007 and 2011. Former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib instructed his cabinet during a meeting in 2010 to keep mum about the donation from Saudi Arabia's Crown Prince, Prince Saud Abdul Aziz Al Saud, to 1MDB's charity arm Yayasan 1MDB. Former Cabinet Deputy Secretary General Tan Sri Mazidah Abdul Majid, the prosecution's 11th witness in the 1MDB Tenor trial, told the Kuala Lumpur High Court today that she attended the cabinet meeting chaired by Najib on September 8, 2010. Mazidah claimed that during this meeting, Najib said he was having formal and informal engagements with certain parties from Middle East countries, which had responded positively to matters involving Malaysia's interests. According to Mazidah, Najib said the Saudi Crown Prince had agreed to contribute to Yayasan 1MDB through his charitable foundation, but did not want his contribution to be made public. She also testified that Najib said that the first donation had already been received, and the Crown Prince had promised to transmit the next donation after this first donation. The defence will cross-examine Mazidah when the trial resumes tomorrow at 9:15 a.m. The Kuala Lumpur High Court has fixed February 18th to deliver its decision on whether to call Datin Sri Rosmah Mansor to enter her defence with regard to 3 counts of graft in relation to the solar hybrid project involving 369 schools in Sarawak. Justice Muhammad Zaini Mazlan finished hearing submissions from the prosecution and defence today. Rosmah is charged with 2 counts of receiving 6.5 million ringgit in bribes from Jepat Holdings Director Saidi Abang Samsudin, whose company was awarded with the project. She is alleged to have received 5 million ringgit and another 1.5 million ringgit sent to her homes in Sri Perdana Putrajaya as well as Langat Duta in Kuala Lumpur between December 2016 and September 2017. If convicted, she faces a maximum jail term of up to 20 years and a fine of 5 times the amount received. The wife of former Prime Minister Datuk Sri Najib Razak also faces a charge of soliciting a 187.5 million ringgit bribe from Saidi for the 1.25 billion ringgit project. Finance Minister Datuk Sri Tengku Zafrul Aziz says Putrajaya has approved 12.76 billion ringgit in applications for the Wage Subsidy Program 1.0 as of January 29th. He said 322,177 employers and 2.64 million employees have received the benefits as provided under the Prihatin and Penjana initiatives. As for the second iteration of the program under Kita Prihatin, Zafrul says a total of 741.16 million ringgit has been channeled to 64,345 employers to enable them to continue operating and maintain 518,793 employees. The government is hoping to lower the jobless rate in the coming months from 4.8% in December 2020 through various initiatives including the My Future Jobs portal and the Ministry of Human Resources e-Latih platform. According to Zafrul, the National Employment Council, which last met yesterday, expects committed investments to create over 160,000 new jobs this year. As for the Penjana SME financing scheme, he says the government has approved 6,507 applications involving 1.23 billion ringgit as of January 29th. Also approved were 277 applications for 55.4 million ringgit under the Penjana tourism sector financing for small and medium enterprises and micro SMEs. British American Tobacco Malaysia says net profit for the fourth quarter FY20 fell 25.6% to 72.72 million ringgit, due mainly to higher operating expenses. Quarterly revenue slipped 0.33% to 660.23 million ringgit. The group announced a fourth interim dividend of 27 sen, totaling 77 million ringgit to be paid out on March 9th, 2021. For the full year ended December 31st, 2020, earnings dropped by 30.04% to 241.84 million ringgit. The group's top line was 7.7% lower at 2.32 billion ringgit. In a Board's filing, BAT said its profit decline in the full year was mainly due to the contraction in the legal market. It pinned this on the high illicit cigarette volume, growth of illicit vaping, market down trading, and lower duty-free sales as a result of COVID-19 related regional and international travel restrictions. Going forward, BAT expects its duty-free volume to continue to be affected, no thanks to border closures. Its managing director, Jonathan Reed, says illicit cigarettes trade levels will also remain high, as prolonged movement curbs add on to the financial pressure faced by B40 and M40 consumers.